Oh, boy, boy, boy. Greetings, everybody. I wanted to come on here and give a little bit of my opinion of what's been going on when it comes to the World Wrestling Entertainment, when it comes to the chairman, Mr. McMahon, aka Vince McMahon, aka despicable human being, but I digress. Now, I want to preface my comments before I jump into what I have to say about it is if these latest allegations are true, I'm going off the pretext that these allegations are 100% true. If they aren't, I'll come back on at some point later down the line to address it, give my overall opinion about that. But seeing the craziness that's been going around when it comes to these allegations that's been thrown around, my biggest question when it comes to all of this is why the hell are people so damn shocked? Why are people so shocked that somebody like Vince McMahon would have some dirtiness in the closet? I mean, it's pretty obvious. It's not. You look at him, the way he carries himself, the way he talks, the things people say about him, it's not really that shocking that something like this would be coming out. People are like gasping, "Oh my God, I didn't realize it was like that. I didn't realize he was like that." And man, he wouldn't have came off as that type of person. I wouldn't have thought that in any way. Come on, man. It's very clear as day. Just looking through the history of his career, running the WWE and building up to the conglomerate that it is, and all of the backstage things and the behind the scenes information and the stories that are told behind the scenes, what he's all about and what he's done over the past, 4 decades. I mean, it's ridiculous. I mean, you're talking about a guy who literally let a wrestler, one of the greatest wrestlers of all time, and Owen Hart fall to his death, and then scraped him up off the canvas like he was nobody and continued on with his show like he didn't give a fuck. Like, I don't get why people find it that shocking that an allegation like this would be true. It's not that shocking. Yeah, I think last year he had a similar situation where he kind of backed away from the company because he had allegations from this same woman, Miss Janelle Grant. If I'm butchering her name, my apologies. I'm kind of just doing this on the fly, but it's not that shocking when you see stuff like this. It's sad to see, people want to, just like what they do with Chris Benoit in a sense, where I'm not trying to compare them as people because one's a double murderer and the other one that is a real despicable human being in my opinion, but it's never been caught out for no murder. But the pretext is like people want to defend the person's actions because of what they've been able to accomplish in their field and everything that they've done, and try to like negate the disgusting things that they've done to put them in the position that they are in. Regardless of, I don't care if he was the creator of wrestling, I don't care if he helped build it up to what it is now and today. That does not absolve him of the things that he's doing right now. And I'm not one of these people that comes to every widow's defense, every woman's defense, excuse me, when it comes to these type of allegations, because sometimes women do lie. I'm not saying that this woman is lying, because there's a lot of evidence, a lot of damning evidence that's came out that I'm gonna talk about in just a second, that definitely make it seem out to be true. So, there was a report came out, obviously, that this woman Janelle Grant was basically getting sex trafficked by Vince McMahon and being passed around to other wrestlers within the company and other people within that company. It's just ridiculous. I see names like John Laurinaitis and Brock Lesnar and just a whole bunch of nonsense, man. It's just ridiculous. And then you read deeper into it and you see some of the encounters that he was putting her in, and some of the positions and the defecating on her head, and just all of the nonsense, man. Just disgusting behavior from a disgusting individual. It's sad that I grew up as a kid watching wrestling, loving wrestling. I obviously, as I became a teenager and as a man, I started to phase out watching stuff like that. I still tune in every now and again just to see what's going on. The product has kind of got a little bit better over the past couple years, but it's still nowhere near what it was back in the Attitude Era and even back in the Ruthless Aggression Era. But it's sad when you got somebody who built it up to what it is, basically, being the headlines for a nonsensical argument. But like I said before in the beginning of the video, none of this shocks me. I'm not shocked by this at all. These people in the Hollywood and in the elite, when guys are worth 9, 10, 11 figures worth of money, it's not really shocking that they're able to pull off and do stuff like this behind the scenes. Not to mention knowing social media and things of that nature wasn't around back in the 70s and the 80s and the 90s and the 2000s. Who knows what else he was doing back then? I mean, hell, if people have watched The Dark Side of the Ring, you've seen the plane ride to hell. I mean, that tells you all you need to know when you let a guy like Ric Flair kind of just get away and mosey away with some of the disgusting things he's done over his career. It just shows you what type of character Vince McMahon has inside of him. Like, if you're gonna allow that just for your own greed, just to line your pockets with money because he's such a big star, and just gonna allow him to get away with doing what he's doing, that tells me a lot about your character, you know. And it's sad, you know. He's pretty much, I mean, and at the end of the day, this dude is in his, I think, 70s, late 70s, approaching his 80s. At some point, dude, you need to go sit in a retirement home somewhere, go chill the fuck out, you know, disappear from obscurity. It's no wonder that his daughter, Stephanie McMahon, has basically kind of pulled away from all operations, basically pulled and retired from the whole wrestling business as a whole. It seems like she doesn't seem like she wants anything to do with it, and it wouldn't shock me if this played a major factor in it, you know. And even speaking on Stephanie McMahon, you look at the storylines he put his daughter through. Yeah, I can understand she probably was okay with it because she loves the wrestling business, loves her father. Probably didn't have a problem with the storylines, but you see some of the degrading storylines that he put his own daughter through on national television, on pay-per-view, in front of millions of people. It's just ridiculous, you know. It's sad that it's come to this, but a lot of these individuals that's been coming out lately and getting exposed, whether it's P. Diddy or Epstein or Weinstein a couple years ago, I mean, it is what it is. I guess it's the era of just people getting exposed for the dirt that they got in the closet. And I think Vince McMahon is just another casualty when it comes to that field. So it is what it is, you know. That's how I feel about it. Vince McMahon has always been considered to me like a despicable type of individual. He's done a lot for the wrestling community, like I said before, but that does not absolve him of the disgusting allegations and the things he's done over the years to wrestlers, to fans, to just people in general. Just because he's rich and has money doesn't absolve him at all. And when it comes to guys like Brock Lesnar, it's just even sadder. Like, he's another guy that a lot of people have looked up to in the past. Who, I mean, he's never been a people person. We all know this. And like I said, we're just going off the pretext that these allegations are true. You know, he just got pulled apparently from the Royal Rumble, so he's not going to be in the Royal Rumble. You know, he's the highest paid wrestler on the roster. At least he's been for the past probably 5-6 years. You know, it's just, where do they go from here when it comes to him? I mean, he's in his late 40s, and it might be time for him to hit the old dusty trail too and call it a wrap, because it's not a good look to have somebody that was involved in a situation like this to be the biggest athlete and the highest paid athlete on your roster. It's a bad look for everybody involved. But that's all I got on this subject, you know. But we'll see how this plays out in the weeks to come. It wouldn't shock me if more dominoes fall when it comes to certain other wrestlers and certain other people within this industry that fall. It wouldn't shock me one bit. But thank you guys all for watching. And as always, until we meet again.